see the next function, that is scanf. I am going to explain. Scanf function is again one formatted input function. Input means suppose you want to accept something from user, then we can use that scanf function. That is again written in stdio.h header file. Okay, we can accept any data type value, it may be integer, character, float, any data type value using this scanf function, and for that we have to specify their format specifiers, and that's why that is again called as formatted input function. Now what is the syntax of that scanf, that we have to see now. Now just see the syntax of scanf. Actually this is just like a printer, but there are some differences that we have to see. It is again returning one integer value. What it returns, number of fields those are accepted from the user through that scanf. That is the count of number of fields. Okay, that will be returned after execution of that scanf statement. Okay, now what is this format or control string? Here in the scanf we are not doing that display, we are just accepting something from user, and while accepting, just you are accepting suppose integers, characters, floats, whatever you are accepting, its format specifier you have to write here only. Means this is nothing but a combination of different format specifiers. While writing format specifiers in this format string, don't write comma or don't write spaces in between those format specifiers. Now the next arguments means whatever format specifiers you have mentioned here. Okay, at that place user will enter something, and that value will get scanned and will get stored inside those arguments provided here. Okay, now see what those arguments here, whatever arguments you have to pass to that scanf functions, those are not directly the variables, those must be addresses of those variables. Here addresses you have to provide in scanf, and in printf you have to provide directly the variables. Okay, this is the main difference between argument list. Now see how to use that scanf. For that I am going to give one example. Suppose you want to accept two numbers from user. Okay, then how to use this scanf? Suppose we have declared two variables here, a and b, and we want that the value of a and b, we don't want to assign any value here at the time of declaration. Okay, we just want to accept those two numbers or those two values from user at the time of execution. Then we can use this scanf function. Scanf function, here we have to provide first format string. It is nothing but a collection of format specifiers. Means whatever number of values you want to accept from user, according to its data type you have to provide here multiple format specifiers. It may be one or more than one. Okay, now here in double quotes we have written 2 times %d. This 2 times %d indicates that user is going to enter two integer values. Okay, at first place whatever user is typing, that will be scanned and will get stored at this address. This is ampersand a ampersand b. You can call it as a ampersand, or it is also called as a address of operator. This operator gives us address of any variable or location of any variable. Okay, see, whenever we write this statement like int a comma b, what will happen inside memory? 2 bytes will get reserved for a and b. In this way, initially those are having garbage values. Now I want to store whatever values entered by user at these places. That's why we have to provide its address. Here suppose address is like this. This is just an assumption. Now this address we have to provide as an argument in scanf. Okay, as an argument in scanf we have to provide address. We have to pass addresses. In printf we will not provide addresses. We will provide directly whatever variables like a, b, c in this way. Now see, this a is address I have to pass, and for that we can use this ampersand a. Then next one ampersand b. Next argument will be address of b. We have to pass, that is nothing but ampersand b. While using scanf only call it this operator as a ampersand. Again we will use that operator in pointer lesson. Okay, there we will call it as a address of, but purpose or meaning of both is same. Now see what we have written here, scanf %d ampersand a ampersand b, in this way. Now how it will work? First at the time whenever this statement will get executed, user will suppose user is pressing something like this 57. Okay, user is entering something like this 57, then that value, that is a one integer, that will get fetched. It will, this percentage will indicate that user is going to enter one integer value, then that will get fetched and will stored at this place, where address of a, where it is here, means at this place whatever value entered by the user through keyboard will get stored at this place, that means here 57. Again, suppose after pressing space, okay, or after pressing enter key, user can press enter key for second value, or user can give space for the entering second value. Okay, in this way. Now suppose user has entered here 50. Again that value gets accepted. Here it is integer value, that's why we have written %d. This %d two times indicate that this scanf is used to accept two integers from user. Okay, means for execution of this, user should enter two integers. Okay, then only this statement will get executed. First user will enter 57 suppose, then space, then 50, then this value will get scanned and will stored inside in a variable, because here we have given ampersand a, that is nothing but address of a variable. Now second value whatever user will enter 50 will get scanned and will stored at this b place, that is 50 here, because we are providing address of b here. Now one more point is that, means here in this way we can accept two integers. Suppose I want to accept one integer and one character, that is again possible. See, or first just see here, suppose we have written here b and we have written here a. Now what will happen? Whatever first value user will enter, that will stored at place b. Okay, whatever argument we are providing here, this is nothing but address of b. That's why first 57 will get stored here at this place and 50 will get stored here. Okay, in this way this scanf will act. And suppose you want to provide one character and one integer, means you want to accept one character value and one integer value through scanf, that is again a possible at the same time. Single value no problem, but you can also accept two different data type values, that is again possible in this way. Suppose first character and second integer, then just write in this way %c %d, because first character, okay, means user is going to enter, we have to accept that character first and then one integer. Now there should be one character variable in our program, then only we can accept that character, because whatever accepted should be stored somewhere. Okay, and for that we have to create one variable. Okay, that ch variable already created, ch is there inside memory having 1 byte, because character requires 1 byte. Now see %ch, user will enter something that will be accepted as a character and will get stored here, where in here it should get stored. That's why first argument we should provide, that is ch. Now here suppose user is pressing a, okay, user is entering a, then a will get stored inside that ch, and after that one integer value that will get stored inside a. Here nothing will be there, there will be any garbage value. In this way the scanf function will work. Scanf is used to accept something from user. Okay, now one more point is there, you can restrict field width. Okay, suppose our requirement is that in a program I want to accept only 2-digit number from user, more than 2 digits suppose we don't want to allow. Okay, then in that case using scanf we can restrict field width while using scanf, because scanf is used to accept something from user. Suppose I want to accept one integer, then we will use scanf like this, scanf one integer, that's why %d, suppose that is one integer n is there, in that n I want to store whatever value entered by user, that's why comma I will provide here address of n, ampersand n. Why? Because whatever user will enter, that is an integer value, that will be scanned and will get stored inside n. Here user can enter any value which is in integer limit. Okay, but suppose I want to restrict that user should enter 2-digit value. You cannot restrict how many digits entered by the user, but you can restrict the scanf function that scan only 2 digits from whatever value entered by the user. Suppose user is entering value like 1, 2, 3, 4. Just here suppose we have written %, it will scan whole number, that whole value, that is 1234 1234, and will store inside and in this. But suppose I want to restrict, I want to only enter accept 2 digit in our program, then we can write here %2d like this. Means what will happen here? %2d means only 2 digits will be scanned here, 1 2, and those will get stored here inside, and remaining part will be ignored. And suppose one more scanf is there after that statement, like %d and then ampersand. Suppose there is one more variable n1, then in that case whatever remaining part will get stored inside n1, that is 3 4. Okay, means here this scanf function will get automatically executed. It will not wait for user will enter something, because there is something, that 34 is remaining inside that input buffer, which is already there, because only 12 will get stored inside this n, and remaining part will be inside input buffer. How this scanf will work? First whatever user will enter will get stored inside that input buffer. There is one input buffer, means you can, there's some space inside a memory. Okay, and that first will get stored there, and then that will be fetched and stored at a particular location. In that way that will act. Means suppose we have written scanf this in this way. First whatever we have written, suppose a user is entering 1 2 3 4, its 12 will get stored inside first in that n, because we have written here %2d, and after that there is something in input buffer, that's why this scanf will get automatically executed, and that 34 will get stored here inside n1 automatically. Okay, this program will not give chance to user, that user will enter something again. Okay, now, and suppose user has entered initially 12, then no problem, user will give chance, because this 12 is here inside input buffer, will get stored inside that n, and that input buffer is now empty, then user can enter one more value. Okay, then for execution of this scanf it will wait. Okay, the processor will wait that user will enter something again. Okay, in this way this scanf will act. Now one more point is there. Suppose you want to accept any character, we have to use %c, for integer %d, for floating point value %f, for double %lf, in that way. Suppose I want to accept any string value, okay, then we can use %s in printf. Suppose you want to display any string, then we can use %s in printf. Similarly, suppose you want to accept any string like student name, okay, then we can use this scanf. How? That we have to see now. Accepting string through scanf. In this point we will discuss like how to accept string from user using this scanf. See, there is no any inbuilt data type for string. Okay, for storing string in C language. For that we have to use character array. Suppose I want to accept student name from user. Okay, then we will declare one variable like this, char name of 20, suppose, in this way. Now user will enter something that may be that is nothing but a student name, that will get stored here. For that we have declared this sname variable, and it can hold 19 maximum 19 characters. Why? Because 1/0, one null character should be attached there at the end of string, and for that we have to provide one space. That's why it will store maximum 19 characters in it. Now see, here we have declared one string variable. This is string. Why? Because this is character array. This square bracket represents that this is a collection or group of characters. Okay, means suppose we have given message to user through printf, like enter your name. Okay, how to give that? Simple, using printf. Okay, through printf we can give message to user like enter your name. This will get displayed onto the screen as it is. Here we are not passing any arguments because this is just a string. No any format specifiers is inside this. Okay, now after that we have user will press something, user will type something, user will type the name. Okay, then that should get stored inside this sname variable. For that we can use scanf. See, scanf. Here what is the data type of that sname? That is string. That's why we have to use here %s. Now after comma, actually we have to give location. Okay, address of that variable. Normally we give address here. Okay, yes name is there inside memory and having size 20 bytes are reserved for that S name. Okay, now user, whatever user will enter, that will get stored at this place, that should get stored at this place. Now here normally we provide addresses, but see, this S name is not a built-in type variable, means it is not just character variable, float variable, it is just a name of array. Okay, and always remember, array name itself holds its base address. Base address means initial address, like it is starting from 100 address, suppose. Already S name is holding 100, that's why don't write here ampersand S name, only write here, this will wrong, because S name is not normal variable. Suppose it is a normal variable like integer a, in this way, then we have, for getting address we have to use ampersand a. But here in this case this is not a normal variable, this is just an array name, because for string we have to create array, and array name, for again array name we cannot use like address, this in this way. We, for fetching this 100 we have to directly use array name, because array name itself holds its base address. That's why don't write here ampersand. Now it is correct. We'll just only remember here that for accepting string using scanf, don't use ampersand, okay, before that variable name, string variable name. Suppose you want to accept any integer, float, double, any other data type value, then just put here ampersand. But here this string, this is a string variable, this is an array of characters, that's why don't write here ampersand before this S name. This is just a point. See, you can also restrict some characters here. Okay, now see, one more point is here. While whenever you enter any string using scanf, means whenever you are accepting any string using scanf in your program, you cannot enter string having spaces. Means suppose you want to accept full name of that student, okay, then you cannot accept using scanf, because after first name you will type space, and the space will be considered as a end symbol, okay, as an end point for that scanf. It will stop scanning after getting space. That's why for entering string without having spaces you can use scanf. Now while accepting string, suppose you want to give some restriction that only that string can have only these characters, then that is again possible in this scanf. How? See, percent, and here whatever characters, allowed characters you can specify, like A, B, C, D, suppose, square bracket and then close, and then write S name, comma, S name. In this way you can restrict that S name should have these characters. Suppose user is entering any other character than this one, then stop scanning. Okay, means suppose user is entering the string like A, B, C, and after that suppose user is pressing P, then it will stop scanning and it will only store this A, B, C part inside that S name. This is how to restrict the characters inside a string while using scanf for accepting string.